Hello everyone and welcome back for another video. Today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to play the ALAPIN. And after I show you guys how to play the ALAPIN, I will be playing 2 Blitz games against people of my rating, around 23-2200, showcasing how to use the ALAPIN to actually win your games. So the ALAPIN begins after white plays e4, c5, and the ALAPIN is played from the white pieces, and it is a weapon against the Sicilian, and it starts with the move c3. So the main purpose of the ALAPIN is to get a big white center. If, let's say, for example, you like the main line of the Sicilian, knight to f3, and then in d6, and then d4, you actually lose your d pawn very easily. But like the idea of the ALAPIN here is when you play d4, it should be defended with the c pawn, so that, for example, let's say if d6 is played, so now if this trade happens, your pawn stays strong, and you still have good center control. So the first line I would like to show you guys is actually with the move d6, and d4 is played, and now knight to f6 is played by black. This is the main line, putting pressure on the e4 pawn, and there are multiple ways to defend it, but the main move here is bishop to d3. And after pawn takes, knight c6, and knight to f3. Here, black has many options. Again, the main point is just you have the center, and black really does not have a very good center here, and your pieces can fly to activity. This is why d6 is considered a little bit dubious, but this is just a very easy way of how white can get a better position. Straight out of the opening, this is about an 8 moves. White already has a plus 0.7 advantage, and of course, if black were to take your queen, you are just completely winning here after the following sequence with knight takes d7. You're just up a piece here. I guess technically, yeah, you can take the bishop. So yeah, exactly. So this is just one example of how in d6, the ALAPIN is just crushing. So this is just an example with the d6 line. There is also this idea with g6. If black does not want to take your pawn, they're trying to prolong this, then of course you can just develop naturally and just leave the pawn there, and eventually push d5, and like I'll just show a sample line. It can get very bad very fast. Say for example queen to b6 is played, now d5, knight here takes, probably with the knight actually, sorry, excuse me, with the knight, and now here even f4 is very strong. And you can continue pushing the pawns down the board. So that is the line, and then the main line, excuse me, of the ALAPIN is with this move d5. And if you see d5 on the board, you should be pretty happy. You should not feel any worries, because you're simply gonna take and go into this position, and you are hoping in many lines that your opponent does develop this bishop out to g4, and even if they don't, occasionally you can just take the pawn. Okay, but in this line, bishop to e2 is better, but now you can take the pawn, and if black were to take back, here I'll just show you guys after the move e5 and b4, this pawn is very hard for black to take back. For example, e4 just runs into knight to d4, and if like right here it's plus 0.7, and of course there's it's very hard even after the move, a move like a5. Now you play b5, and let's say after a move like knight to d8 is the best move, according to the engine, or I guess bishop takes f3 is also up there, and now you just go bishop to e3, or even knight takes e5, right? So this is just how the ALAPIN is just simply crushing. And then there is this other line if the knight to e4 were played, again, just the b4, and these pawns on the queen side are a very nice majority. So yeah, so the other main move is with the move knight to f6, in which now you play e5, and I did just make a video about a GM game in which I lost playing the ALAPIN, but that's besides the point, because the ALAPIN did a great job. I think I got a pleasant position out of the first 15-20 moves, and then of course positionally he just crushed me. So I think the ALAPIN did its job even against a grandmaster. So I think it should work greatly for all of you intermediate and aspiring to be advanced players, or maybe even some advanced players over here. So this is just how I play. And again, there's so many traps in the Alapin. There's this whole vision that the Alapin is just a drawn opening. It's really not. It's gaining a lot of popularity. And many of you guys, I think, should start playing it because even with the main line, so for example here, right, and after the move d6, bishop to b5 check can be played. And this is, again, it's a trap, but like the worst thing that can happen is the position is equal. Bishop to d7, and now bishop to c4. And here, just take a moment, pause the video, see what moves most natural. Give you guys a few seconds. Knight to b6 is probably one of the most natural moves. e6 is the best. Do not get me wrong there. But even after e6, just d4 is fine. But here again, there's just a very nice trap. With this, white has a +1, and it can easily grow from that. So again, that's just a very small trap in this line. So again, if black were to play this move, knight to f6, you would play knight to f3 and e5. And after a move, like for example, knight to c6, here you can play the very strong move d4. After c takes, and a move like d6 is the main move here. You can simply trade. Here I've faced I think an IM in which he played the move e6. And after this, something like this happened, and I played like this, and castles. And this is also a very common line here. And after the move, yeah, I think knight to b6 was played in the game. But again, sorry, after I castled, knight to b6 was played. But yeah, in that position, I also had like a +1 advantage. I did go on to lose it into the end game, but that is besides the point. So yeah, this was kind of like the basics of the Alapin, and just, sorry, where was I? There. Sorry, excuse me, knight to f6. And just another very small thing, here, if some of you guys don't want to play d4, there is also the sideline after the move bishop to c4, in which after the move knight to b6, bishop to b3 can be played, and after a move like d5, you can simply take, c4 can be played. This will also happen in the GM game that I played. And here e5. And again, this is also very good for white. After a move like e4, this is a +0.3, 0.4 advantage against the Sicilian, and this is a very easy, dynamic game. So for all you people who don't want to learn too much theory, and still want a small advantage from the white pieces, this is a great opening. After castle, something like d4 can be played, trade, queen to e7, and after, I don't know, like rook to e1 or a5, white is doing fine here. So that's pretty much it, except for one last thing, which against the move e6, here there is the move d4, and again, after the trade, knight here, you can just develop very easily. And these are some of the game plans after the move e6. So yeah, guys, that's it for the learning how to play the opening portion. Please do rewatch the video just so you actually get it inside your head.
Sorry,
all these lines are the main lines,
because
and
I could not find anybody
see this like
to play the
95% of the time.
against. There was nobody
And
with
there are not many
I can't
ways
keep
to like mix
wasting
it up.
games.
And even
like
so,
this. I'm really sorry.
Playing a game,
but
you
please,
can
I will
always
try
figure out
again, and I will upload a separate video. Hopefully,
really
not
be
that
hard
hard
in the
Alapin.
Alapin. So
Yeah, please do subscribe if you liked all the content.
That's it for this part of the segment,
segment.
guys.
Please
See
do
you guys
like
in the next one.
Yeah, bye. Thank you for watching. Also, please do comment down below how many, if you enjoyed the video.